All right, so this tutorial is going to let you know how to use the module requirements, which are set up in Canvas. So before we get into that, how to set those up, I just want to show you what this looks like kind of on the teacher end when you do have those set up. So this is module 6 of this course. You can see I can quickly look down the list and see that these things are set to view. Here's an assignment, so that one is set to submit. Here's one set to view. This one is something I didn't have you submit, so you would just have to mark the page as done. And that allows you to continue on. When you get down here to the bottom, there's a little bit of a different one. Here's a quiz, for example. You can see that the quiz is worth 12 points. And in order to move on, you would at least need to score a 10 on that quiz. So on the 12-point quiz, you need to get at least 10 points correct. And then here's a discussion post. So I've set that to where you actually have to contribute, which means you have to post to the discussion before you can actually go on. And that's how this particular module lock is set up. So I'll go back up here and show you, or the requirements, that's how that's set up. So I'll go show you how to do that. So once again, we're going to go to edit. I'll show you a finished one. Okay, so in this particular one, you can see here's the prerequisites. Okay, so when we scroll down, I have this right now selected, which means that you must complete all of these requirements. Okay, so what that means is you have to complete every single thing in the module. And I also have this box selected. That means that you must move through the requirements in sequential order, which basically means you start at the top of the module and then you'll work all the way down. Okay, so you can kind of see what this looks like on from the teacher side. Okay, so like for example, these are all little drop-down menus. So update a resource, and that's set to submit. So when I click on that, I could say you have to view it, mark as done, or submit it. Well, in this case, it is an assignment to submit, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave it like that. And then on this quiz, okay, since this is a quiz, Commons and Collaboration quiz, I set that to score at least, so that you would have to score at least 10 points out of 12 in order to continue on. So like I said, I can add an additional requirement, and that's basically just shows the very first thing in the module, which is you can see the Commons and Collaboration checklist, and that's set to view. In this case, I don't actually want to add that onto the bottom because this one's already done and checked. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and actually cancel that. I don't want to change anything in that particular module at this point in time. But I'll show you how it would look to set up a new one. And I'll also show you one other feature here. So this is module 7 that I'm working on right now. I'm finishing up building it as we speak. Okay, so when you look at this, you can see I don't have the prerequisite set because that'd be right there. Okay, but here's another option as well. So let's say, for example, these are kind of some of the more advanced things you can do with Canvas. So this H5P is some interactive content. Basically, it kind of is like using coding to a degree to set up some different types of questions for your kids, some interactive questions. Mastery Paths is kind of an advanced thing as well, where you can kind of differentiate and set up remediation and enrichment for students inside of Canvas. And then badges, of course, you're familiar with, but that is, the use of digital badges in a Canvas course and whatnot. So in this case, I have this box checked, which means that you must complete one of these requirements. Okay, now that's not the way this is going to look when it's all said and done, but let's say that you had a project that you had 3 different projects out there. You wanted to differentiate for your kids and give them some choice between project A, project B, project C, like 3 different science experiments or something like that, or 3 different social studies projects, research projects, whatever it was. This would be a way that you could say, okay, if you do one of these projects, then you're done and you can go on to the next thing. The one drawback to this is if you set this up this way, you can't then add additional requirements and make them move through these sequentially. So this would probably be the only thing you would have in this particular module. Okay, what I mean by that is you would have to say, okay, you can choose one of these things, and that would be like a project-based module per se, but that would be probably the only content you would have in that particular module, other than maybe a set of instructions explaining what it is you want them to do, which hopefully they would, you would just set that up anyway. It's okay. Hey, you might include a set of instructions here at the beginning. I'll kind of show you what that would look like. So let's just say that's a view item, and this one needs to be a mark as done. So I'll change that now. So the module checklist is at the beginning. Notice I can't move these here as well. This is the last thing I want to show you. Notice I can't move these. I can just simply delete them. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit update module. Okay, now notice this is the fourth thing on there on my requirements. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit update. Okay, and when I do that, that didn't change this particular deal. Okay, but what I can do is if I were to move this here, okay, or where's the one that this interactive one? Okay, we'll just kind of adjust them that way. Okay, so now you can kind of see I have the mastery paths. I changed the order of those. Okay, so H5P was at the top. Notice it automatically moved that checklist up to the top. So it will look at things sequentially, or if I move it, notice badges is the last one right now. Let's go ahead and update. So let's say that I want to make badges the first one. Okay, now if I go back to my module locks and things like that, now badges is the first thing. Okay, right underneath the module checklist, which I only set to view. So the nice thing is when you set these module requirements in place, if you adjust things in your module, at the end of the day, they will be moved automatically in Canvas. You don't have to move them twice. Like you don't have to move them in the module and then be like, oh, I need to go back and adjust my requirements. It will move them in the requirements as you move them in your module, which is kind of a nice feature. So anyway, that is how you use the requirements, and both for completing some choice menus and completing all of the requirements and setting up the requirements inside of a Canvas module.